I came across this hardware recently, and I must admit it might not be the most practical solution or practical hardware that I could recommend to all sim racers out there, but still could be interesting for some. Stay tuned and check this out. This may sound really weird for some of you out there, but I always wanted to have the option to use my helmet in my sim racing and also be able to communicate to anybody who would be interested to try out my sim rig here. But unfortunately, the solution that I was looking for was not really easy to find, at least in my go-to sources for sim racing hardware and gadgets. And funny enough, I instead learned about this device here from flight sim community. Actually, from a flight sim YouTube videos. It is called the FSX Dual M from Flight Sounds. They're a company based in New Zealand, specializing in flight sim communication devices. This device is basically an intercom within your PC, yeah? So any racing enthusiast would probably be able to come up with the useful application for this device, like say real life spotter, having spotter right beside you, communicating through the headset, or maybe even a coach or navigator or whatnot. So I'm sure some guys who are more knowledgeable about PCs may have other solutions or other ways to make this possible. But the interesting thing about this device is that you can actually seamlessly use your real life racing communication device in this directly to this device without just by using a single USB cord running through attached directly to your PC and no power required, no amplification required. And as you can see, I have this stylo headset right here. It's a real world racing communication headset. This is a wired version though, so yeah. So you have this thick connector here. This is not your typical 3.5 millimeter jack. It's a really thick Nexus connector. It's called Nexus, I think. And the confusing thing about this connector is that it actually looks similar, but Nexus, Pelzer, IMSA, military use all have different ways of wiring this thing inside. So I was actually very intimidated on purchasing this device because I didn't know which connector it would work for which. So fortunately, I have uh, a guy who was kind enough to help me out with this. He owns a shop. He is also a real world racing driver, and he also owns a shop and does sim racing. So I went to his place, brought my device with me, and tested out different connectors for this device. And we found out that for stylo, if you have a blue adapter here, it works. So I hope this video is gonna help anybody who's looking into doing this kind of route. You don't have to waste your money in different connectors. Just get a blue one and it should work. So yeah, so this is the device. I think the height is around 2 inches, and I don't know the length. I don't have the rulers here, but that's how that's how big it is. So it's got two connectors here. The power, so you could turn it and turn off. And as I mentioned earlier, you only have you only have to plug one USB at the back, and this knobs here. I think when you turn this up, this is where you could pick up the noise around the surrounding noise. Yeah, so you could play around this and see what's best. In my case, I turned this the bottom ones all the way down, and I just try to adjust this upper part according to my liking. And one tip that I need to tell you is that there's a PTT, push to talk switch at the back. Make sure it's always turned on. Otherwise, you probably could hear your mate, but the thing will not be registered through your PC. So yeah, there are, however, some disadvantages in going through this route. And one thing that is not very obvious is the price, the cost. Actually, this very simple looking headset here is not even wireless. Yeah, it's just a simple wired device here. Could cost as much as this headset right here, which is not cheap. I think I got it for $250. I think I got it when they release it, so maybe it's going cheaper now. But you wouldn't think a simple headset like this would cost you around $200 to $300, yeah, but it does. Plus the connector here, one single connector, one single adapter here would cost you around $80 to $90, which is not cheap. So this tip that I'm giving you is actually going to save you some money, because if you're planning to use stylo, the blue cable would work for you. So no problems there. And the second disadvantage is that the audio quality is actually not good. Actually, it's really bad. It's a VHF sounding, which makes it sound more authentic, but not necessarily clear or pleasant. So I'm gonna play some sample audio here, so you could clearly understand what I'm trying to say. So this is the stylo. So as you can hear the crackling sound, I think. At least I can hear it from my side. So radio check, mic test 1 2, mic test 1 2. That's how it sounds in this device here.
This is the test from the helmet. Radio check. Mic test 1 2, mic test 1 2.
So there you go. Probably not the most practical hardware that I could recommend to everybody, but it still serves a very unique purpose. At least I was looking for this kind of solution for at least a year now, and I'm glad that I found it in YouTube, found it in the flight simulator community. So it was unlikely, but I'm glad I bumped into it, and I hope having tested it in sim racing environment, I hope that somebody would benefit from watching this video. And yeah, and if you're one of them, please let me know. I'll be happy to hear what you think about this device. Either way, consider liking this video, and consider whacking that subscribe button as well. And yeah, I'll see you in the next videos. Yeah, cheers.